Let's set up Visual Studio. Now we can open File from File, Open File, or pressing Ctrl O. Or we can just drag and drop it like this. As we see here, it opened our folder, and there are all files in it, such as views.py, tests.py, models.py, apps.py, admin.py. Now we create our model in a class. We may name it data. We take this model class in Django. Model class is used to define the structure and behavior of database tables. It means our data model is a subclass of the model class in Django. It means our data model inherits from model, and this allows us to define the fields and relationships that make up the table's structure. It will be clear if we create fields in the following steps. Inside our model, we may define the fields and relationships we need. For example, first we need date. So we can use the datetime field. Datetime field is a type that stores date and time information, which is provided by Django. It represents a specific point in time and includes both date and time components. We are using auto no at equal true parameter here, because when a new record is inserted into the table, the date field will automatically be populated with the current date and time. One of the examples could be posting on social medias. When you post a new post on social media, or when you leave comments on social media, it shows time you post. It is the thing datetime field of Django does. Also, we need other fields, such as worked fields, academic fields, worked industry, invested time, and predictions. As for worked fields, it's supposed to be an integer field. And this integer should only be a positive integer. And it can be empty. So we set the null parameter as true. And also, we can specify choices. We need predefined set of choices for the field, the choices parameter. Let's define the set of choices. The choices parameter expects a list or tuple of tuples, where each tuple represents a choice option. We may add any choice here, like ABC and etc. Later, we will come back and make it meaningful choices. The academic fields, worked industry, and invested time will be also positive integer fields. So we can copy the field above, but in invested time field, we need specific range, such as maximum and minimum limiters of the number. We could use Django's validators such as mean value validator and max value validator. First, we must import these validators. We also need predictions field, but it won't be integer field, but it will be a char field. In other words, it will not be number field, but word field, let's say. In this prediction field, the data from the machine learning model we trained earlier on the Google Colab is taken. Now it's saved in the folder in our local machine, you remember? Then let's save our prediction field. In order to save our model, we define the save function. Then as using joblib.load, we get our model. You remember the joblib we used when we trained our ML model. That time we used to serialize the model. Now here we are using it to load that model. ML model.predict. Inside this prediction, we include the fields such as worked fields, academic fields, worked industry, and invested time. Then we save it. Here I'm using the function such as save. If you need my help to understand in a detailed way, please let me know in the comments below, because the model and functions are big topics that must be explained as a separate tutoring project. The default query sets of this data model should be based on the date fields in descending order. It means we want to retrieve instances of this data model in a specific chronological order, such as displaying the most recent entries first in a list or feed. Making the long story short, meta class of Django could make our job easy in this case. This meta class is supposed to be inside of our data model. This str method will return the value of the name attribute of our data instance. In other words, it controls how instances of our model class are displayed. Our data model is ready. Now we are supposed to make migration. Make migration helps our database schema stays in sync with our models and allows us to evolve our dashboard application's data structure over time. So we must make migration in the following step. But it doesn't migrate anything for now. We see here that no changes detected and no migrations to apply. The reason for this is that we have not added our dashboard application to the list of installed apps yet. Let's add it now. By adding this entry in the installed apps, we are telling Django to use the custom configuration defined in the dashboard config class for the dashboard application. This allows us to customize the behavior and settings of our application. The application inside of our Django project. Now, let's try again to make migrations. Here we go. We encountered another bug, which says we have not installed joblib library yet. That's true. We have not installed joblib library yet. Let's install it now. In order to install, we type pip install joblib. It says joblib is successfully installed, and we may try to make migrations again. As we see here, the data model is created, and it shows migration number 001 initial.py, which is not necessary for us to go deep into details about this migration number for now. Now let's migrate. The running part shows migration number 0001 initial.py is applied, and all migrations are applied in the operation part. It means everything is okay for now in terms of migrations. Let's run the server. As we see, the server is running. Let's take the server address and insert it to the browser and add /admin to go to the admin page. But as you see, we are required to enter password and username. Where do we get the username and password for the website we have not finished it yet? Good question. We can create it by writing in the command line here. Python manage.py create super user. Then we are asked to write our username, email, and password. Let's run the server and go back to admin page. We can provide the username and password we just created. As we see, there are groups and users in the admin. But where is our data model? We created data model. Our data model is not registered in the admin part yet. So we must go to the admin.py file and we import data model from the dashboard folder or from dashboard application of our Django project. Then we can register it here. admin.site.register and brackets data, data admin. What's more, we could specify what fields can be displayed on the admin screen by creating data admin model. Now we may try again to see our data model on the admin screen. Here is our beautiful model. As we see, the choices we created include just A, B, C. Let's turn these choices to meaningful choices. In order to do this, we just replace these A, B, C with the other choices. As we see now, the A, B, C turned into the other choices. These choices of game development, software developer, data science, etc. make sense compared to the abstract ABC choices. Am I right? Let's insert a new data and see how it works. Meh. It throws error because we forgot to install SK machine learning library. Let's install it. We may go to pypy.org. Believe me, you visit to this website, pypy.org, very frequently when you start developing any web application using Python. So we may go to the pypy.org and get the code snippet to install any library, including scikit-learn. It says installation is successful. Let's try one more time. We insert new data and see how our new toy works. Yeah, it worked. As you see, it predicted Python as a recommended stack. Let's try another one. Let me say my working field is cloud computing, academic field is math, worked industry electronics, and invested time 6 years. As a result, it's recommending me C or C++ languages as a stack. Let's try another one. New prediction is JavaScript. then Kotlin. Next one is MATLAB.